Live from the wretched hive of scum and villainy, we are the Moss Isley Mavens.
I'm Rachel Giles.
And I'm Timbila Kabre.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Babe, we're back.
We are back, baby. It's been a hot second.
It's been too long.
It's been like 2 hot seconds.
It's, you know what though? It hasn't been like in between trilogies long. So I think we're good. I think we're covered.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely correct.
So we are back and this is our relaunch premiere. We're so excited to be bringing you the top 15. Listen, we did say it was going to be 10, but we could not narrow it down. Top 15 Star Wars moments.
We did say it was going to be 10, didn't we?
Yeah,
we
it's
should
okay.
Put like a disclaimer under that, like we
may change.
10 moments. Make no here.
Yeah, but it's, you know, there's just so much. I think we did a really good job. It honestly was so hard to narrow it down even to 15 because we're talking about all of Star Wars. Like we're talking the shows, we're talking the movies, not just the trilogies, but also Rogue One. I mean, you have to bring everything in, and that's what we wanted to do. So
yeah, absolutely. It was very hard. It was so hard, but I'm so excited. I think this is a good list. I think it's a really good list.
Yeah, I feel very strongly about it. And then I will remember something in 2 weeks and I'll feel terrible. But for now, I feel very strongly about it.
That's what social media is for.
we can change it later, like Jabba the Hutt. So yeah, we're gonna just kick off and start with moment number 15. We're gonna get through about 7 in this or 8 in this episode, and then we'll be doing our top 7 in our second part of this premiere. So we're excited.
Yeah, make sure to stay tuned.
Yeah, tune in next time for the top 7. So we're starting with number 15, which is a very classic Yoda quote. Perhaps I think it's the most quoted Yoda quote of all time from my perspective, which is do or do not, there is no try. So yeah,
I recognize that this quote is fully iconic and it is said by everybody. I low-key hate this quote because my mom would say it to me, like if it came to like a math problem or something, and be like, I'm trying my best, Mom, and she'd be like, do or do not, there is no try. And I'm like, I don't think Yoda ever did math in his life, so don't throw that at me.
He did math of how many frogs to put in his soup. I think that's really important that we recognize him for that.
All right, yeah, I guess.
But yeah, so I totally agree with Timbila. My dad definitely would quote this at my brother and I when we were trying something. But I think that it, like, to me, it speaks to Yoda, like, kind of has this vision for Luke where in this moment, like, he's going to complete his Jedi training and destroy Darth Vader, or he's going to join him. I think Obi-Wan kind of shares that there's just this notion that there's like one or the other. And Luke is somebody who I think is more willing to kind of see the gray and to strive for something that he's sort of unsure of the outcome, which I think makes him such a cool character. Yeah, I just love him for it.
Yeah, I think that's like definitely it. It's like Obi-Wan and then Yoda were both prepping him to like kill Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
And I want to say like avenge his father without the idea of the two like ever crossing over. And then surprise, Darth Vader is his father. No one saw that coming.
Well, I think in the hindsight, because they know that like Obi-Wan and Yoda know that Anakin is Darth Vader. So in a sense, that's kind of misleading because they're kind of keeping that from Luke. Now that I think about it, yeah,
they're whack. When we were talking about this in our like notes prep sesh, I thought about Dumbledore and Harry Potter and how
it's very like, Dumbledore and Harry Potter,
right? Like Dumbledore just kind of like picks this kid and tells him that this is his destiny when it doesn't necessarily have to be the way that the older sage type character makes it out to be.
Make a new path, man.
Yeah,
and then
pave your own way.
I think that it also reminded me, like, I think I could see this moment sort of reflected, or the conflict reflected in a lot of like recent media, like you said, it's in Harry Potter, but also for me, like it really gives me kind of Aang in Avatar: The Last Airbender, just that kind of conflict that he's going through. Um, so yeah, you can see how it's reverberated through the ages. But yeah, do or do not, there's no try. It still kind of slaps though as a quote, and it is Yoda pulling the X-Wing out of the swamp. I mean, it is kind of a magical moment. So even though I have some qualms about his approach as a teacher.
Every good training montage or moment has to have some sort of line, and this is the line. This is one of the
For sure
most iconic training montage lines. It was just missing one of those like super upbeat like pop rock background music.
Oh, I would love to see an edit of that though. I know there's got to be one out there. I think that'd be excellent.
We'll have to find it. If anyone else tag us in it.
Yes, please. We would love to see that. I think it's just so like visually, and then also with the John Williams score, like it's just musically compelling. I mean, it's like you just can't help but feel that moment so deeply. I think that like it's also really interesting because Luke's kind of whiny in the first movie, like, but this particular moment I think cements that he becomes this extraordinarily relatable character because you see how much he's yearning and longing to be a part of this bigger world. And I think everybody can find themselves in that a little bit. There's something where we want things out of life, whatever that is. And so I think people can connect with that. And Mark Hamill did just such a good job of putting that emotionally into that sequence, because there's no, he's not talking or anything. He's just staring kind of wistfully up at the twin suns. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's basically the Star Wars equivalent to daydreaming. Like I am at, like, when I think of the twin suns scene, like in my own life, I think about like when I was younger and I would have to ride in the back seat of like the family van, and I was looking at the clouds like passing through the window, like that, like same vibe. It's the same vibe. He's a kid who daydreams all the time. And yeah, you're right. Like I never thought of Luke being a relatable character until we started talking about this scene, and I was like, oh, hold up, I feel that absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of Star Wars rests on being, because Luke is the protagonist, right? So if you can't like the hero of something, it's sort of hard to like get behind it. And I think a lot of people can relate to like Leia or Han Solo more, but I think you have to see yourself at least a little bit in Luke to really get into it. And I think a lot of people do because of this moment.
So moving on to moment 13, and it's, what is it, Rachel? Tell us. Give us the lowdown.
It's Leia's hologram. So we all know it. We all love it. And Timbila pointed out that it is in every Star Wars parody. Like it makes its way in there somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm pretty sure, like, how like a lot of Bob's Burgers episodes are like puns of famous movie titles. Like I'm pretty, like there's probably a Star Wars one.
And, for sure.
Like,
and it's probably
can you just see like Tina Belcher like wearing like a bed sheet over her head and being like something like "Save me, Jimmy Jr." Right? Your butt's my only hope, or something like that. Like there's always something like that in a Star Wars spoof, and that's why I thought, not even just like the hologram, but like that line, like "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my
only hope." Yeah,
that's I think Star Wars.
Yeah, it's the most iconic call to adventure in like all of 20th century Western pop culture. Like I can't think of a single one where it's like, this is where the adventure begins. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple, but like they just don't come close. It's ubiquitous. Like, and then I think also the thing that struck me too is like in rewatching it, to kind of like talk about the moments, it's like there's a chance like she's gonna die. Like I think she fully accepts that. Like her ship's been taken. Like Darth Vader is like crazy. Like we saw like in the context of Rogue One what this man is capable of, and it's like evil. And so I think that she understands there's a chance that this is it for her, but she has this like desperation that the rebellion has to survive even if she doesn't. And I think that's like, you get that even from Carrie Fisher, who is so young, like as the actress, and Princess Leia young as a character, like that there's this, it's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just so you understand like what Leia's about. Like you just absolutely understand her whole ordeal. And then like even like I just finished Rebels not too long ago, and seeing her even be involved in the rebellion before it was even really a rebellion. It was just a whole bunch of like pocket fighters trying to a ragtag team of people who were trying to do what they thought was right. And like that's her thing. And yeah, yeah, I love this scene. I think this was another one I was fighting for to put on the list.
Yeah, that's like, and it's important that it makes the list because it is just like it's iconic to the franchise, you know. I think too it's important to get that representation because we didn't, I think in our original 10 have a ton of original trilogy um representation. And that's not to say like I think the original trilogy is probably my favorite. But I think like growing up, the things that stick with you most are the ones that you experience like as a kid. So for me, that was like the prequels, and Timbila, I know like was introduced through the sequels. So I think that we had some overrepresentation of that. So it's good to bring
Yeah,
these moments in because they really, you know, we can't get Rey staring at the twin suns on Jakku unless we get Luke staring. So it's just important to
yeah,
bring that up.
yeah. We have to get back to our roots. We have to get back to our roots. But speaking of the sequels, let's move on to moment 12. Which actually, if any of you know Rachel or I, um we have very strong opinions about The Last Jedi, but
We got beef.
we have a little bit of beef.
Tell Ryan Johnson that if he's got beef, we're vegetarians and we're not scared of him, you know.
He owes me reparations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this next scene, it's Luke's speech at the end of The Last Jedi, right? After he
it's I mean, yeah, I think
Kylo Ren. Well, no, yes, he does.
He does. Well, his
It's been a hot second since I watched The Last Jedi.
he fights Kylo Ren, but it's a projection of him, right? So it's not like he's IRL, you know, he's zooming in on this one. A pre-pandemic pioneer of Zoom, I would say, is
so right.
Luke Skywalker. He said, I will be teleworking today, ladies and gentlemen.
Teleworking king.
And so I think that, yeah, so Kylo is giving him this big bad guy, like, I'm a tough evil dude talk and telling him he's going to destroy the rebellion and he's going to be the last Jedi and he's going to destroy everything. And Luke is just like, amazing. Every word of what you just said is wrong. You know, he tells him that the rebellion is reborn today, you know, that he's not going to be the last Jedi. And I think it's such a powerful moment because all throughout The Last Jedi, Luke is like, I'm ending the Jedi. Like, I'm the last one. I'm over it. And so I think he's coming to a recognition that, like, pulling himself back into a semblance of this person that he was, because Luke at his core is this hopeful person, like, just so hopeful. And so I think it's really cool that in this, like, in his final moments, he's bringing that back. You know, Rey is able to draw that out of him. Leia is able to draw that out of him. You know, and he's got the humor and he's got the panache and he's got hope, most importantly. So yeah.
You could say he found a new hope.
Yeah.
No, but I agree. Like I'm not a fan of The Last Jedi. But I definitely think it definitely has its moments.
It brings moments.
And
we
I
also
think this is one of them.
Yeah, for sure. This and Haldo also almost made my honorable mentions because I think tearing that ship apart is really cool visual. And I have a crush on Laura Dern, so
who doesn't?
You know, true. Our 11 moment is like I honestly don't know how this is 11 because it's hard. Like this is when it gets hard.
Yeah, honestly, once we start nearing these single digit moments, it was really, really tough.
It's so we have for number 11 the Ahsoka versus Vader duel from Star Wars Rebels and Twilight of the Apprentice. I think season 2, that's season 2 of Rebels, right?
I think
I
so. It's so
this
good.
is I just like this is I cannot believe that it took me so long to watch Rebels, because when I saw this, like my mind was completely blown. I am such a huge Ahsoka fan. And I know Timbila is too.
Yes. So I
Yeah,
remember I have so many Snapchat videos of me just reacting
watching Rebels.
that happen in both the Clone Wars and Rebels. One day I'll compile them all and post them somewhere. But I'm pretty sure I sent you a whole video of me reacting to Ahsoka saying the "I am no Jedi"
I
line.
mean,
I'm losing my mind. It was awesome. She's cool. She's
mm,
she's the coolest. And it was also just like so raw, like just if you've seen the Clone Wars, you know what happens to Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, and to kind of see, I mean, honestly, it's almost the like results of that, of like who she's become later on. And not that she has like, I guess, like a total distaste for the Jedi Order, but like a lot of its core values are so important to her, but it's she's done away with the politics of
right.
of the Jedi, and she wants to fight for what she believes in and what she loves, which is why when she says that she's going to avenge Anakin's death, and Vader's like, that's not a good Jedi thing to do, and she's like, well, guess what, newsflash, homie, I'm not a Jedi. And it's so cool. It's such a good fight. You get to
It's
see,
extraordinary.
yeah, you can see both Vader, who is fantastic. I remember spoilers for Jedi Fallen Order, but like you fight Darth Vader at the end. I stopped the game and walked away from my Xbox because I did not want to fight Darth Vader. Um
I mean, it's like, well, this is also like there is like the meme, or not the meme, but like the tweet that's like Ahsoka fought Darth Vader, Palpatine, Darth Maul, and the Inquisitors on the same day. Like she just, because like that's all happened like sequentially, right? Because like she fights with Maul, she fights with the Inquisitors, then she fights with Vader, and then Ezra pulls her into the world between worlds, and she fights Palpatine.
oh my gosh, you're so
I
right.
know. Anyway, but yeah, she just, this
He's
Vader
so
fight to
cool.
me is so emotional, because it's like I think Ahsoka, and like what you're talking about, Ahsoka has this disillusionment with the Order. Vader had that too, but he's kind of egotistical. You know, Anakin is thinking like, I'm the chosen one. I can solve everything. Give it to me. I got this. I'm always right. And Ahsoka is somebody who like had the same moments that Anakin did. The Jedi Order wronged her. You know, Anakin is denied the rank of master. Anakin has all these rules and things. You know, he's not allowed to love Padme. He's not allowed to have any of the things that he needs or wants. And Ahsoka similarly is wronged by the Order, but she leaves. She cuts it off. She says, I'm done. I'm out. But she
Yeah.
still follows the light side of the Force, and she still is in touch with the will of the Force, and
Yes.
without assuming that she is right or that she has the way. And so I think in that way, you know, Anakin is obviously a mentor to her, but they're also kind of peers because they're so close in
They're
age.
so close in age. I always forget that. Like there's like what,
It's
3
insane.
years difference between them?
It's five, but yeah, it's still, I mean, that's like Anakin and Padme.
Still
I mean,
still
it's
not super
there's
big.
not it's they're basically, I mean, not they're not basically the same age, but like towards the, especially when she gets older, you know, more mature, that she's like 17 years old making this decision to peace
Oh
out.
my gosh, that's almost the age difference between myself and my younger brother.
I know, that's crazy, right?
Oh
It's,
my gosh.
and I think that it's like there's no other duel between two people who have that past that Anakin and Ahsoka have, because I think even with the, I love the Anakin and Obi-Wan duel, that's high up on the list. We'll
It
just
is.
give you a
It
spoiler
is.
there. But the problem with that one is that Anakin has this resentment of Obi-Wan and this hate for Obi-Wan, I think, in a way that, you know, Obi-Wan comes to represent how the Jedi Order has wronged him. And Anakin had nothing but love for Ahsoka before becoming Darth Vader. You know, he loves Ahsoka in the way that he loves Padme or Shmi. Like there's just, it's like a purity to it, you know, like he sees her as, I think they see each other as sort of siblings. But there's not that, you know, he fights for her so recklessly when she's accused too, and no one else stands up for her, because he thinks, like, I think he recognizes that no one has been in his corner, and so he's continually in Ahsoka's corner. Like on her side no matter what. So when you have that moment when she is avenging him and then finds out that Darth Vader is Anakin, I mean, to me, it's almost as emotional as Luke finding out the truth. Because even Luke has this idea of who his father was. Like, Ahsoka knew Anakin, like, into, like, that is like her brother, you know? And so I think it's, and then once she finds out, you know, like, once you crack open his helmet, you hear his voice, you see the yellow pupils, it's heart shattering. And then the idea that she refuses to give up on him, that she's willing to die, like, to be with him in this moment, to protect him, like, I'm not going to leave you. It's the cherry on a very sad Sunday. I can't.
Yeah, a very sad Sunday. Absolutely.
And then the fight choreography is incredible. On top of all of that, like, it's a good duel.
So good. It was just good. I love that scene. Rachel can attest. I'm pretty sure I have the Snapchat video saved somewhere of me losing my mind. Yeah,
it's that's how I feel, just like unintelligible, like screeching from my heart.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, to brighten things up, we have moment 10. For moment 10, the beginning of our top 10, and emphasis on the hour. I know some people might not agree with us, but you know, it's fine. It's whatever. Start your own podcast.
We are in charge here. This is our ship.
Podcast.
We're Han Solo and Chewie, and we have rules. Get off. I mean, it's up to you. No, please. I mean, even if you disagree with us on the top 10, you probably will still enjoy this podcast. We're just kind of giving you a taste of, like, where we're coming from.
We are. And what we like and what we value in Star Wars, starting with moment 10, the introduction of Baby Yoda. I'll fade out. Excuse me.
I like it's this entry point, I think, for so many people who I've been begging friends for years to watch Star Wars, and it's like Baby Yoda's all over the news, and all of a sudden people are into it, and I think that's incredible.
Amazing. That's amazing. I've had people who I would have never pegged to be like super into Star Wars. People who might have just been like more casual, but like I didn't think they would be into The Mandalorian. But I have had so many people be like, "Oh my gosh, I love Baby Yoda," and how can you not?
He's adorable. I mean, Grogu is just like the world's cutest marketing trap. I mean, I don't know who concocted this at Disney, but I think they're evil geniuses. I'm pretty sure.
No, absolutely. The mouse knows what they know what they're doing.
Like, he was concocted in a lab. Like, that is a lab grown baby.
Like, but you know what? So was the Mandalorian. They're not like yeah, we could have Baby Yoda without the Mandalorian, but we couldn't have the Mandalorian without Baby Yoda.
This is true.
And that's facts.
I think that it's like, I walked into the Mandalorian personally being like, I was kind of expecting more a grittier, more like masculine, Western, bro-y kind of situation. And I was here for it. Like, I'm here for it. I'm about it. I'll consume anything. Star Wars. I was fully
prepared for just like action, grit, like something my dad would really like.
I love that. Yeah, it's good. And
like, I'm not against it, but
there's a place
what
for
I got was I was not expecting.
I was not expecting to have my heart melted, you know, like on episode 1, like, because I think it's that iconic shot, like Baby Yoda reaching his hand out and like the Mandalorian it's so cute.
Super cute. And like, not only that, like, I love Baby Yoda. I don't know where my mind was going with that point, but that was the end of the point, was that I love Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And Baby Yoda transcends age. I've had children as young as 4. My niece loved Baby Yoda. 2 people as old as my mother love Baby Yoda. There's probably people older out there who love Baby Yoda, because my mom's not that old.
Yeah, and I think that Star Wars is like supposed to be like this. Like, it's not meant to be something that like you have to know who Darth Revan is to enjoy. Like there shouldn't be any gatekeeping. It's like if
No,
somebody is just
absolutely
wanting
not.
to engage with the Mandalorian and nothing else, like that's their business. And I think that's cool that there's some piece of this universe that can connect with them they enjoy.
Absolutely. And I think Baby Yoda was the perfect way to do that. He's cute, he's funny, and for older audiences, like his story's kind of tragic. He's the whole package.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so interesting to have like the children who experienced the massacre at the Jedi Temple, like people like Cal Kestis, or not Cal Kestis, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Caleb Doom, you know, Kanan Jarrus, like they have that, they were kids when this happened, but now they're adults. So they've had time to process it and kind of recover from it. I think
Yeah.
because Grogu, the way that the Yoda species kind of grows, Grogu is still a child. Like this is still fresh,
He very much is a
but it's
baby.
been many years for everyone else. So I think it's interesting because you can explore the trauma of that for a kid. And I'm really looking forward to that kind of going forwards.
Absolutely same. Also,
Yeah.
just a side note, Cal Kestis did survive Order 66.
Yeah, that's true. He did for sure.
Sorry, I love that
I was
guy.
trying to think of Caleb Doom and I said Cal Kestis. Their names are too similar for me.
Okay, but like in Bad Batch, Caleb Dune did kind of look like Cal Kestis.
You're
That boy was
so
pale.
right.
That boy was too
I think they
pale.
fixed the lighting in it or something because they were
Um,
like the
pretty
lighting was
sure they did.
off. I was
Sure.
like, okay, man, you made him a full ginger. Like, okay.
Yeah, that man's is brown. Okay.
Like,
Kanan Jarrus is brown.
listen, if you're on the Ghost crew, like
You're POC.
except for the what is Hera. Yeah.
Green. So
Yeah. So our ninth moment in the countdown is from the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. And that is Din Djarin removing his Mandalorian helmet.
so good. If you didn't cry during the scene, maybe you're an Imperial. Like, how could you not cry?
Maybe you're an imp.
Yeah,
I don't I think maybe like if you're not an emotional watcher, that's fine. But if you're somebody who cries at movies and you didn't cry at this scene, that's what I would say. Because I know like my brother, you can't, like he cried at Coco and that's it. Like that's it takes a lot to get this man. But yeah, I think I
definitely.
definitely, if you're
I mean,
somebody
like
who
if you didn't feel anything when this happened, then I think we need to have a talk.
yeah, I'm a little worried about you.
Yeah, but this was such a good scene. I have a love-hate relationship with this scene because yes, it was very, very good, but at the same time, I hate that it happened.
Yeah, I think that's key. I don't know. I think that him giving up Grogu to Luke is important for the story, and I get that, but it is hard to watch. I
It
think
was
that
very hard to watch.
to me it's hard, I think, because of this scene even more so. Because in this, so if we take this back, if we compare and contrast, bring it back to the season 1 finale of the show, Din Djarin is listen, clown school graduate, ready to give up the mortal coil rather than taking off his helmet. Like he's literally willing to die, like rather than forsaking this creed that he has to never remove his helmet. But in the season 2 finale, it's not even a life or death situation. Like it's not like he just wants Grogu to see him. He wants to say goodbye to his child. It's to me, it takes it back to this notion that George Lucas always says Star Wars has to rhyme. Like it just rhymes throughout it. You see the echoes of it. And I think that Dave and John are doing a stupendous job of making that happen on The Mandalorian, because this to me rings of Anakin taking off his helmet, his Darth Vader helmet, to say goodbye to Luke, even though he's dying and obviously the Mandalorian's not dying. But still, I think it's an interesting parallel because I think it cements that Grogu is like a son to him and he's giving him up to Luke because he knows that's what's best for him. So
Yeah, and I think also like back to the Star Wars rhymes thing. I mean, we could even bring it back to the Last Jedi with Luke finding a new hope in what the Jedi are to become, and so Din Djarin kind of I won't say like that he ever lost his religion, but like it was just kind of it for him. And then having Baby Yoda as a foundling kind of like re-sparked his own faith and his own like interpretation of it. And
I think that
and I think him taking off the helmet just kind of like solidifies that, like the old way is dead, this is his new way.
This is the new way.
This is the new way. Yeah.
It's, to me, I think it also comes down to that he has, as a result of having to take care of Grogu and like carting him all over the galaxy, has seen so many new ways of living, even amongst the Mandalorians, you know, to have met Bo-Katan and those people, and to see that like there are other ways to do this, to kind of identify, you know, as what he is, but not necessarily follow the tenets. So it's sort of a matter of that he's learned how to like apply that kind of critical thinking skills of like, I'm going to do what everyone does with religion, which is like take the aspects of it that are most meaningful to me and kind of reject the things that are, you know, not working anymore. And so I think that, yeah, he's just, it's not worth it to him to continue it, to follow some set of rules for like who now, because his, like, I was going to say coven, but I know that's not right. His
that is not correct.
His covert is like gone.
Yeah.
And so it's like, who is he doing this for? And Grogu needs him in this moment to give his permission to go with Luke. And so he just drops it, you know, he's ready.
And I mean, this even goes back to again to our introduction of Baby Yoda moment, and like this is Baby Yoda leaving, at least to our knowledge. It's come full circle, and I know that like regardless, like if you loved Baby Yoda, like I imagine that the scene was very, very. It was tough to watch. I cheered up. I was angry. I was upset. I was ready for Dave Filoni's head, Jon Favreau's head.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like this notion of like, just go with him, like just go with him, go with Luke. Like I'm sure they need some more chaperones on the Jedi bus.
I'm angry because Din Djarin did not get like any contact information. He's a Star Wars dummy. He doesn't know what a lightsaber is. He's like, Jedi, what's that?
Din, are you a Jedi, Djarin?
yeah, are you a Jedi? Like that's Luke Skywalker walks on that ship and he's like, are you a Jedi? No, it's just a random dude.
There's the key of like, how much do you know about Star Wars on a scale of Din Djarin to Maul? And someday we'll rank everybody on that. Like, we'll create the full levels.
Yeah.
I think mid-tier is like Ahsoka. I feel like, or actually Ahsoka's pretty high, I think.
I think so. She's in the higher quadrant, absolutely. But yeah, that's my biggest beef with this scene is that, and honestly, it's in true dad fashion that he did not get like any of the important information. He didn't get a phone number. He didn't get a name. He didn't get the name of the school. He's got nothing.
He doesn't have a planet. Like this man is just like, all right. He seemed, but in his defense, this is very in character for him, I think, because when in episode 1 of season 2, like he meets Cobb Vanth and like 10 minutes later is like, hey dude, if I die, Baby Yoda is all yours. Like, good luck with him.
That dumb man.
Moments ago I was ready to kill you, but I'm trusting you with my son now.
I love that stupid man so much. He's so dumb and I love him. On the moment 8. Continuing on with our sad moments. But I think this is also a great moment to end on. Moment 8 is the Rogue One sacrifice.
Yeah, so this is, oh gosh, this one I think empirically, I feel that Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies. I think it's like Rogue One and Empire Strikes Back. I'm not saying those are my favorites. I'm saying that if you're introducing someone to Star Wars and you like want them to get into it, like this is just a good movie. Like it start to finish,
it's a good movie. Well done. And I know that like when I first watched it, and when you first watch it, like you have all these conflicting feelings. Like I remember, like I was unsatisfied at the end of it, but like that's kind of the, like it's not necessarily the point, but like I feel like it was kind of made to be that way. Like that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is the films that occur later in the timeline after Rogue One. And it genius, a masterpiece. It's so good, and it's definitely a movie it's grown on me.
Oh, for sure.
And
every time I watch it,
I definitely agree with you. It's one of like the like most well-made Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
I think the story's great. The characters are great. They're heartbreaking. So good.
I think that like it just gives such an emotional weight to something that we don't think twice about in the original movies. Because when you're watching Star Wars, the original A New Hope for the first time, you know, yeah, they have the Death Star plans. That's cool. You don't really understand how that happens. And so to go back and to say, how did we get that? Like take this singular piece of information that's critical to taking down the Empire and really exploring that and exploring what it takes for that. And I think we don't really get a sense of the rebellion in the original trilogy other than our main characters, you know, other than what the rebellion is to Luke or Leia. You know, we don't really explore like Wedge or Biggs or some of the other star pilots. I mean, I think that some of the extra canon or not the non-canon legend stuff sort of gets into that. But I think for this, Rogue One is like, what does a rebel look like? What is the Empire doing to regular people on their planets that is making someone want to risk everything to stop it? And yeah.
And I totally agree. And it's made me realize that there's no real, I'm trying to think of the best way to frame this. Like if we're thinking like the original films, like the films that would take place after Rogue One, that kind of set the tone for Star Wars up until Rogue One, there's no real, you never faced this much death to so many characters that you know and have grown to know throughout a film all at once. And it makes it like extra powerful. Like I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, there's no death like as impactful as, you know, like there hasn't been a death like this before. And I mean, there hasn't. I mean, other characters have died in Star Wars, but they haven't died in this way.
The fact that it is this team, like you get to know every member of this team has a different reason for being there, a different reason for wanting to fight the Empire. You get to know each of them, care for each of them, and then that they are like sacrificing themselves, K2SO, just to take down the Empire. You know, not even to take down the Empire, they are getting a piece of information that is a chance, like a chance of a chance, a hope of a hope. It's gorgeous. I think it is everything that Star Wars stands for, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good. And like, oh God, I love Cassian and Jyn.
So excited for the Cassian series. I'm sad Jyn's not going to be in it though. I don't know if I want to out us. I think both of us are kind of Cassian Jyn shippers a little bit.
No, yes, absolutely. Someone posted a quote from like the Rogue One novelization, and about like when Jyn and Cassian die, and I can't even remember what it says, but I just remember it wrecked me reading.
I really thought that they were Poe's parents, and I was like waiting for them to escape.
They're the definition of the right person, wrong time trope.
Tragic. Ugh. So tragic.
I cry right now.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
It's like this. I love them both so much. And then I also love Bodhi. Like we lose so many people who I would just like want to see whole series on just them.
Yeah.
I mean, and Saw, and this is so great. I love that he has become kind of this kooky dude. It makes perfect sense for his character of everything that he's been through. Forrest Whitaker just like bringing the A game.
I love how Saw Gerrera just keeps popping up every time I get more into Star Wars. Like I saw him first in Rogue One. And then I saw him in Jedi Fallen Order, and I think I even sent you a snap video about that. I was like,
yeah, you did. You were like, I found him.
And then I was finishing the Clone Wars, and he was there, and then he was in Rebels, and now he's in the
Bad Batch.
Wow.
Love Saw. Well, yeah, this is, I think, a perfect moment to end on because we're so excited to get into the top 7 next week. It's going to be great. We do have some honorable mentions that you can check out on our TikTok at Mos Eisley Mavens or Instagram at Mos Eisley Mavens. And we will, just on the topic of the Bad Batch, we will be doing something Bad Batch related, but we don't know what that is yet. So just stay tuned. We're going to wait till the end of the series, I think. We are watching it. We are loving it. We are
We'll just do a whole episode where we pretend we're Omega and
Rekka.
talk like that. Rekka, tech. Okay.
We actually love Omega in this house, and if you disrespect her in our comments, we're gonna come for you. We're gonna find you. I'm gonna send Fennec Shand after you.
Absolutely. Wow, that's our girl.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be back, and yeah,
this is Moss Isley Mavens signing off.
See you next time.